winner for the Fish on opening day. And it's cut on and missed. That thing is back, and it's gone. And this team is electric.
Nine days until opening day, that Friday, Rockies and the Marlins. But for today, we welcome you into the Marlins Hot Stove Show on this 27th day of January, the final Hot Stove Show of the month of January. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, deep and distinguished guest list. We only got one, actually, but we have a ton of A-plus content coming your way. Liam Hicks will be our headliner. We will discuss Hicksy before we get into the interview as well. It's a big year for him. We've got some IFA news, international free agency. We also have some crazy movement in the division in which the Marlins play, and that is the National League East. And we also have someone that is going to be a part of the Marlins organization. It's an arm. It's a righty. We will get into him, but we first ask you, Jack McMullen, good afternoon. How are you today, sir? You are looking splendid.
Thank you very much. I'm feeling splendid. Wasn't a couple days ago. We're on the other side of that now. This is also my least favorite word in broadcasting, the penultimate Hot Stove Show on our schedule, right? Because it's this, and then it's the live show at FanFest. Be sure to be there on Saturday, February 7th. FanFest is presented by ADT. And then we just get into spring training ball. So this is the second to last FanFest that we're doing. That's crazy.
And real quick,
to last Hot Stove that we're doing.
For FanFest, Jack, we are going to be set up on level 3, the Promenade, and you all are welcome to come by, drop by. We've got some awesome guests. I won't reveal them yet, but that's a deep and distinguished guest list. We are going to be doing a 2-hour show. Again, drop by FanFest. It is free. Go to marlins.com. It's right online. FanFest, meet your favorite players. It's going to be an awesome time. It always is. It's going to be my 4th FanFest, so I'm looking forward to that. We do have some semi-breaking news.
Nice.
It is Bradley Blalock, 25-year-old right-hander. Now, this did happen a couple of days ago, Jack, and let's kind of set the scene here for Blalock, who made 12 starts for the Rockies last year. He went 2-6 with a 9 ERA. Again, 25 years old. Spent some time with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2024 in parts of 2 major league seasons. He had a 3-9 record with an 8.16 ERA. I want to dive into Blalock, the pitcher, but I do want to start with this. This guy was a 32nd round pick in the 2019 draft. He signed for $250,000. Jack, the first thing that when I was kind of prepping for this was that's pretty darn impressive to be drafted in that round to sign that sort of deal. Whatever you want to tell me, and I know the numbers aren't what everyone wants to see right now, but there's a character in there that feels very Marlins-esque, a guy that was counted out, a guy that wasn't really looked at or sought out, and he got to the major leagues. Again, he was originally a Boston Red Sox, moved to the Milwaukee Brewers, then got moved to the Colorado Rockies, but I think that tells you a lot, at least about the guy internally.
You don't get stories like that outside of baseball and outside of Major League Baseball, because this is a mountaintop that very, very few reach. And it's a base of the mountain that is much larger than really any other base in professional sports. And what do I mean by that? When Bradley Blalock got drafted, there was a short season single A affiliate. There was an advanced rookie affiliate. There were 2 complex affiliates. There were hundreds of minor league baseball players in each organization. And now that has contracted a bit. So instead of there being 5 levels of single A or short season A ball, you've got triple A, double A, high A, low A in the complex. And that's it. And you've got the Dominican Summer League as well for guys that just signed their international free agent deals. For this guy to make it when he was drafted that late is a story of perseverance. It's a story of getting a heck of a lot better when he is in an organization. It's a testament to who Bradley Blalock, the guy, is, and I'm excited to meet the guy.
The corresponding mood as Valdo Beto was DFA'd, and this is not a surprise, Jack, with Bradley, because the Marlins have obviously made ginormous moves with moving Ryan Weathers and Edward Cabrera, and right now you look at the rotation, and it probably goes Sandy, Yuri, Brax, not in order, Jansen Junk, Max Meyer. The Marlins team need arms. We'll see if they maybe convert a reliever into a starter like a Tyler Phillips or someone like that. But I did want to start with this. I'm going to lay the groundwork, and then you're going to drive us through the tumultuous roads like you always do. When I'm looking at least the splits with Blalock, he had an awesome month of July. Okay.
Yeah.
17 innings, to a 1.59 ERA, right? Now, the other, again, we're not going to sugarcoat. We're going to be frontal about it. A 10 ERA in April, a 15 ERA in May, a 12 in August, and a 12 in September and October. However, again, there was 3 starts in the month of July. 2 questions that come with this. Where does he fit Jack McMullen? He's got 1 option left. And what was he doing in July of last year that allowed him to have this success?
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out if I want to start with July or finish in July, and I think that I want to start with July. The reason he was so good in the month of July certainly comes down to command and execution. And the reason I say that is this guy, at points, it seems like, struggled to execute with his fastball. When you look at where his fastball was landing in the general vicinity of the strike zone, it was over the heart of the plate. That's what the heat map on Baseball Savant tells you. When this guy was throwing his fastball, more often than not, it was center cut. So his fastball execution had to be a heck of a lot better in July. He also kept the ball in the ballpark. It's the only month last year that he didn't allow a home run in. So you don't allow home runs, you allow fewer runs, and the ERA looks really good, and it gives you an opportunity to win. Bradley Blalock, it's a really interesting arsenal for a guy that was calling Colorado his home ballpark. And I was with you in person earlier today, and I told you and the boss, John Eric Alvarez, I said, and this is for our visual audience, anytime I say Bradley Blalock, I'm going to do this. And it's kind of a 4-seam fastball carrying up and then a curveball down. He's got an arsenal that is very vertical, north-south. When you hear me say that, I'm talking about the top of the strike zone and the bottom of the strike zone. He's a north-south pitcher. There are east-west pitchers. And when you think about east-west pitchers, think about Anthony Bender, a guy that is sinker in, slider away, or slider bearing in. Yes, he will go side to side. Bradley Blalock, when he's at his best, is top down.
North to west. Or north to south. Yep.
North-south. And then a curveball down below. That fastball is like the clear-cut pitch that will get subdued in an environment like Colorado. Colorado is the hardest place to pitch. There is nowhere that is even remotely close in Major League Baseball. So that good 4-seam fastball is performing like an okay 4-seam fastball in Colorado. I'm really excited to see him get away from that being his home ballpark and see how that fastball curveball combination can play off of each other, because he's got a chance to be a really good north to south pitcher. And then in terms of role, real quick, he kind of fits that iron in the fire depth that the Marlins have right now. The guys that jump out in terms of iron in the fire depth, and Adam Major, who we saw a couple of starts of at the end of the year, Orion Gusto, who was acquired from Houston in the Jesus Sanchez deal. I think Blalock certainly fits in to that clumping of guys that are there at the ready if and when the Marlins need him.
So I did want to read this too, Jack, the barrel percentage, which again, this means when the batter squares up the baseball, right? Hits it on the sweet side of it. 12% MLB average is 7.2. And then the hard hit rate was 49.9. MLB average was 37%. So again, you've talked about the location. I'll ask you this. If you're Peter Bendix identifying the talent or the metrics, what did they like about the metrics of Blalock to bring him in, and they're confident if he's given some time and working with the staff that he can turn into something?
Yeah, so the easy 2 pitches to understand are the ones that I mentioned, the 4-seamer and the curveball. What you probably like about the 4-seamer is it carries a bit more. It has a little bit more induced vertical break than your typical 4-seam fastball. And it also stays on plane in terms of horizontal movement a little bit better than your average fastball does. Your average fastball is going to carry a little bit. It's also going to run a little bit arm side. So it's going to have that 2-seam fastball-ish action.
Right. It'll run away from lefties.
Yes. It'll kind of run away from lefties as a righty pitcher. And his stays a little bit more on plane where it's kind of that upshoot fastball. There's a fastball that is good now. Like Justin Steele in Chicago throws it. It's called a cut ride fastball, and he's got metrics like that. So it's a good four-seam fastball in terms of carry and not running arm side. And then the curveball is kind of that straight down drop from a very high over the top arm angle. So it's hard to pick up off of the fastball given the arm angle.
So the Marlins add Bradley Blalock again, as this division looks completely different. The Mets, the Phillies, the Braves. I mean, this has been, I think, the most active division in all of baseball as far as the hot stove is concerned.
Yeah.
Kind of want to go around for each team and talk about how it impacts the Marlins, Jack. We'll start with the Mets, who obviously get their guy in Bo Bichette, 3 years, 126. They get Luis Robert. They get Freddie Peralta. And then you kind of turn to what the Phillies did, which is a little bit more quiet. They're able to re-sign JT Realmuto. They get Adolis Garcia. They lose Ranger Suarez. The Mets obviously, do a couple other things. And then the Nationals move on from Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah.
Let's zoom out for a second here. Just how do you think the division impacts maybe the Marlins here in 26?
Yeah, I think every team in the division has taken steps to get better. I think that the Marlins have gotten better this offseason. I think that the Mets have restructured what they feel like can get them better. Really, the only team that is kind of running it back from last year is Philly. And Philly, you mentioned they lose Ranger Suarez, but they bring back Kyle Schwarber, who tested the free agent market, and they bring back JT Realmuto, who tested the free agent market. They're doing the same thing again. And the Phillies won the division last year. So totally understand why they would run the same thing back. David Stearns is the president of baseball operations in New York, and he saw a roster that he felt like couldn't get over the mountaintop. So he didn't opt to run it back. They trade Nimmo. They let Alonso go. They let Diaz go. But they totally restructured that. They needed pitching. They needed starting pitching. They got an ace in Freddie Peralta. They needed a new look defensively. They got Marcus Semien to play second in the Nimmo trade, and they signed Bichette to play third. They needed a new look in center field. They were done with the Jose Siri, Tyrone Taylor piecemeal, so they go and get Luis Robert. They restructured their roster. Atlanta filled some cracks, right? They signed Ha-Seong Kim. Ha-Seong Kim unfortunately hurt when he was in Korea, so they signed Jorge Mateo. They want to make sure shortstop gets a little bit better. And then Washington, they just cleaned house, right? They hired a new manager. They hired a new president of baseball operations. Paul Taboni is looking at youth, and that's why you move Mackenzie Gore for 5 prospects. So everybody took steps, I feel like, in a positive direction, Marlins absolutely included.
And I think for the same token, there's been a lot of key departures for, I think, not really the Marlins. I'm looking at, like, again, the Mets, like Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Edwin Diaz. I think that this, as soon as we talk about the additions of the division, it cannot be understated that this division is going to look a lot different with guys that we've seen for quite some time.
Do you know how nice it's going to be not to see Ranger Suarez and Pete Alonso all the time? It's going to be awesome to not see those guys. I'm fired up to not see those guys.
Oh, gosh. Pete Alonso, what a pain in the butt. Thank goodness. Not only does he move out of the division, but he gets out of the league. Go to the American League. We'll see you never. Okay, Jack. Our guest today is Liam Hicks. And this is, we can say this about every player, an imperative, big, ginormous year. But when you look at guys like Liam Hicks, who were Rule 5 selections, and last year being a Rule 5 selection, you either playing in the majors or we're putting you and giving you back to your old team. Liam Hicks had to stay up with the big league team, and I thought he did a really nice job, right? You look at the numbers, hit 247, played in 113 games. He was able to switch positions and be versatile. We know how much Clayton McCullough admires the versatility and the optionality. He goes to first. He plays, behind the plate. He's in this weird rotation with 3 catchers. Remember the Marlins, carried 3 catchers for the most part of the year. But he is now in a spot, Jack McMullen, where Augustine Ramirez isn't going anywhere. He is going to catch this year, and the bat keeps him in the lineup. He is going to be a piece of the core for quite some time. You look at the guy behind Liam Hicks, who's going to start in AAA, and it's a top prospect, and it's Joe Mack. What, for you, with Liam Hicks, is going to be the thing that is going to be able to establish himself as a core piece to the future for the Miami Marlins?
Yeah, I think the word that jumps out when you think about Liam is safety. I think that what you want from Liam is safety, knowing what you're getting every time he steps in the batter's box. And we knew that last year. I know he went through some ebbs and flows in terms of production, right? He was really good in the middle of the year and he sputtered a little bit at the end of the year, and he gets into that. But the safety and the knowing that you're going to get a quality at bat literally every time he gets in the batter's box is something that is undeniably valuable. And safety behind the plate. You know that Liam can handle his business behind the plate as a catcher. You know that he can handle his business over at first base. If you provide defensive safety and offensive safety and you produce enough offensively, that's a guy that absolutely has a role moving forward. So really excited to see how Liam goes about enhancing his game from the bedrock of safety that he presented and showcased really darn well in 2025.
No, he really did, man. And again, the plate discipline is what sticks out. The 43 walks to 56 strikeouts. The hit tool, we heard about just him putting it in play. Just put it in play. And we actually did see some moments of power. I mean, he did have some moments where it's like, oh, wow, like I didn't know that pop was necessarily in there. And I think that's the big vocal point for him in the offseason. He's got to get in the weight room. He's got to increase what we like to call the exit velos of 2026. And I think for Liam Hicks, man, if you can provide, like what you said, you want your catcher's value to be beyond just like defense. You do want your catcher to be really good at something offensively. And it doesn't have to be home runs or doubles. It could like mean not striking out. It can just mean not being a negative out there. And I don't think Liam Hicks was anywhere near that last year. And I'm curious to see what a full year now with expectation, because think about his offseason last year. He had nothing to work off of. Like he's just like, all right, I'm just going to prepare to be a big leaguer without ever being a big leaguer. At least he has stuff that he can work on now, Jack, coming into this year. I'm excited for Hicksy.
Of course, mentally, emotionally, this guy has to be eons above where he was at this point last year, where, to your point, you're getting ready to play Major League Baseball when you had never played AAA baseball. So really excited for this kind of jolted Liam Hicks and this experienced Liam Hicks.
All right, let's get to Hicksy now. Before we get to Liam, let's take a moment to educate you on what is coming up next as far as the Marlins are concerned. Opening day is right around the corner, and we want you to join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th. It's going to be a 7:10 first pitch. It's the Marlins. It's the Rockies. 79 wins last year. Marlins are going to break out here in 2026. This squad is going to be led by Sandy Alcantara, Kyle Stowers, Yuri Perez. Hey, if you're lucky, you might see Sandy and Yuri on the same weekend, on opening weekend, and the rest of your fighting fish. Also, stick around after the win. I'm saying it's going to be a win, opening day win. For an electric post-game fireworks show, secure your tickets today at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Fish fans, if you're like me, you are absolutely giddy for opening day and for the Marlins to be back in action. Our first taste of the Fish being back in action, that comes on Saturday, February 7th, well before opening day at 4 o'clock with Marlins Fan Fest. It's presented by ADT. Come meet your favorite players, walk our beautiful ballpark, play interactive games, and end the night with an amazing fireworks display. You might even have time to stop by the Blue Moon Brew Hall and catch the Marlins Radio live show. Highly recommend you do. Claim your free ticket at marlins.com/fanfest, and we'll see you there. Off the inning with a single. It's 3 straight innings with a leadoff knock. The pitch to Liam Hicks. That one drilled out to right. He got that one. Liam Hicks sends it into the Dodger bullpen. His second big league homer, and it's 2-1 Fish in the 5th.
Paez couldn't catch that one, Jack.
All right, it's one of my favorites. It's Liam Hicksy Hicks. He joins the Hot Stove Show now. Liam, we got to get something out of the way, man. Congratulations. You are now engaged. We have to start and begin here. How'd you do it? How'd you feel? And where are we at today?
Yeah, I mean, to start, I was nervous for sure. I was hitting earlier that day, and it was tough. It was tough to pay attention, tough to lock in. But yeah, so I'm down in Jupiter, so we went out to West Palm, told her that we were going to get drinks with the Simpsons, Josh and his wife, Katie. they're down here, and we'll hang out with them a lot. So told her we were meeting up with them on the beach. New Year's Eve also. Went down to the beach, and then luckily I had a really good photographer help me out. So she set up some roses, some white roses on the beach, had some
Hixie the
champagne,
romantic.
some glasses there. So it was great. Got it all on video, got some really good pictures. So she said yes. Took some convincing, but yeah, it was all good. It went really well.
2 quick follow-ups from me on that. I have never been more nervous in my life for anything. And, you know, we've done some pretty nerve-wracking things. You've made a major league debut. You hit a first major league homer. What were you more nervous for? Proposing to the person you know maybe better than anybody in the world, or making your major league debut?
Definitely proposing. I mean, debut was more exciting. This was more nerve-wracking because, I mean, you want it to go perfect, you know? Debut, you know it's not going to be perfect, you know? You know you're probably going to get out. But this, I was like, I needed it, you know? It only happens once. So you gotta, hopefully there's plenty more baseball games to go, but I needed this one to go well. But it did. It went really well.
And then quick trivia for you. Can you name me the 4 C's when it comes to diamond shopping? I'm sure you got these, right?
Carrot, cut,
Cost.
sorry, too. Cost.
Cost. That's a good fifth C.
I'm gonna be 2 for 4, I think.
Cut.
I think it's cut, carrot, color, clarity, right? Those are the 4 C's. Does that sound right?
I'm gonna trust you. I think that's right. I'm 2 for 4 though. That's 500. I'll take it.
I think I banked that, but congratulations.
Well, congratulations to
Thank
you and
you.
yours, Liam Hicks. Okay. You had what I thought was an awesome year, man. You came into this year as a Rule 5 pick from the Tigers. You come in with no AAA experience, and you are thrown into the fire. You make the MLB roster. You are in pinch hitting situations. You're catching. You're then moving to first base. How would you evaluate your 2025?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. You don't really know what going into it. I didn't know what my expectations were. Obviously, having not played in AAA, getting this opportunity to play in the big leagues. Overall, looking back at the end of the season, I was happy with how I did. I think if I really look at it, a lot of ups and downs. Started off kind of slow and then got really hot, and then finished kind of not how I wanted. But I think a lot of ups and downs, but overall, I'm going to say I think I got better every day, and I think I improved a ton from first day of spring training till the end of the season. So that's something I'm really happy with and really looking forward to showing next year kind of coming in.
What do you feel like you learned most about yourself as it pertains to being a professional and just doing this every day? Because there are bad days at the office in baseball more than any other sport. How do you feel like you grew as a person?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be tons of bad days. I think it's really the best teammates I've had are the guys that take their offers or whatever that day, and you're going to see them later that night in the clubhouse or whatever, and you can't tell that they went over, you know. I think those are the guys that I try and be like, you know. So I think that is something that I really learned this year, you know. Don't carry your offer into the next day. Flush it at the field. Try and be a good person off the field, you know. Go home to fiance now and try and make sure I'm not carrying those at bats or that bad day behind the plate back home. So I think that's huge. And then just knowing how long the season is, you know, there's going to be ups and downs. It's okay. So that's something I definitely learned.
What's been the vocal point from the organization to you for your off season?
Yeah, it was good. We had a meeting in I think October about kind of what to focus on, and I mean the main things were swing the bat harder and throw the ball harder. So swing faster, throw faster is pretty much the main takeaways, you know. So it's fun. It's been a really fun off season training that, you know, it's not like I needed to work on kind of swing decisions and chase and that stuff. It's more just like, hey, when that ball's in the zone, make sure we're putting a better swing on it, doing damage. So been really working on that.
So when you work on swing speed, are you just in the mirror swinging a baseball bat as hard as you possibly can, or is it weight training?
Yeah, a ton of weight room stuff. So obviously lifting is like the biggest thing the biggest component to bat speed is going to be getting in the weight room and getting stronger. So that's fun to work on. I love working out. So I mean, that was really good. And then also doing some weighted bat stuff as well. They kind of put together a really good program for me. Corbin, one of the new hitting coaches, has been super helpful with that. So him and I guess all the staff kind of put something together, and he's been in constant communication with me doing that. So I did that for about the first half of the off season, I'd say, first 2 months, kind of December until early January, just really ripping that. And it was fun. It was really fun.
Liam Hicks with us now on the Marlins Hot Stove Show. So everyone comes into spring training best shape of their life. I want you to flex a little bit. Is the muscle up? Did you gain muscle? Did you lose body fat? What's kind of like, what are you coming into spring training with your chest out a little bit?
Yeah, I know that's kind of the cliche thing to say, but I mean, I feel like it's probably true for most people. I'd say this year I'm probably like 10 pounds heavier than where I was last year in spring training. So I'm really happy with that because that was kind of an eye opener to me. Kind of early on in the season in May, we kind of had a sit down meeting with the staff, kind of about my role and kind of how things were going to go. And like that was one of the main things is, hey, you need to get stronger if you're going to stick around here. So I really kind of took that to heart, kind of started working out a lot more during the season. But that's also hard because, you're playing a lot. I ended up playing more than I think that we had thought when we first had that meeting. But that was something I wanted to work on. So it's good now to kind of have a full off season to realize this is the weight I want to be playing at. This is how I should feel, and then have a little more time this whole off season to kind of get to where I was trying to get to all season.
Take me into the Hicksy nutrition plan. Are you on the ground beef and egg diet right now?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I get some ham and spinach and 4 eggs in the morning, some sourdough, and then for lunch, yeah, half a pound of ground beef and rice. And then luckily, Kirsten's been really good with cooking this off season, so she's been kind of taking over in the kitchen for dinner. I mean, I could probably eat ground beef and rice for every meal and be fine with it, but she doesn't seem to think that's acceptable. So she's been able to make some other things. It's been good.
That's what a lot of people call boy dinner, is just ground beef and rice. But
Yeah.
I am curious, this is something that, you've really prided yourself on is the defensive growth. And you had someone that you were so darn close with last year in Joe Singley. And Joe is now with the Orioles organization. How do you feel like you've kind of progressed this offseason without Joe being at the complex in Jupiter with you every day?
Yeah, I think it's just continuing what we kind of did all off season. I think that was a big eye opener as well. Getting to camp last year really early and putting in work every single day to kind of get better as the season went on. So I hadn't done that in the past. In the past, kind of like just a couple times a week, few times a week during the off season with the catching. So now I'm kind of that was an eye opener last year. Now it's every day. We're getting work in every day. So this off season's been just like that. It's been constant every day, trying to get better. And they've got I know they hired Driver, who's been in a lot of communication with me. We've talked a ton. Max Garrett as well, send them video of a ton of work I've been doing. But luckily, I've got some really good resources here. There's a ton of catchers down here that I'm working with, ton of guys to catch bullpens for, a lot of Marlins guys as well. And Joe actually came down here. He's here this week, so we're getting a little bit of work in behind enemy lines, I guess. I'm stealing.
Hicksy, are you going to play any first this year or no, or primarily catcher?
I'm definitely working on first as well this off season. They kind of just told me it's something good to have in your tool belt. I got better as the season went on, got a lot more comfortable. So I want to be able to, if I have to play there in spring or whatever, it's not gonna be foreign to me. I'm gonna be ready and definitely just available for whatever the need is.
So we just got Owen Casey, probably a month ago. You've been working out with him. What can you tell us about Owen?
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, you guys probably already know it, but he hits the ball hard. But he's a specimen. I mean, he's a tall guy, really good hitter, got a good attitude as well. He's a competitor. But we've been hitting together almost every day now since the trade. Really, we kind of we had met earlier in the off season. Obviously, he's Canadian, but I didn't grow up playing with him or anything. He's a couple years younger. But ever since the trade, he's like, I want to hit with you. So we've been hitting together every day here, and it's been awesome. Obviously, both left-handed hitters, so working on a ton of things. I mean, he could use some swing decision stuff from me, and I could use some tips on hitting homers from him. So it's honestly a really good match.
I was going to say, because like you guys are very different left-handed hitters, right? I mean, when you look at exit velocities, he will beat you respectfully. But when you look at things like zone contact and chase, you're going to beat him. Dive into the intricacies a little bit for us. What does that look like? Like you teaching him something about plate discipline or him teaching you something about hitting the ball really hard?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's obviously tough because our bodies move differently too. But it's really good kind of having a guy to talk to like that. I mean, he's got a really good head on his shoulders when it comes to hitting. So like just for example, today we're hitting a really tough breaking ball, and he's kind of giving me some advice of like where I'm missing. You know, I'm missing up and over it. Just think about getting in your legs a little bit more and missing under. And that's just something simple. But it's good to have a guy like that to train with because he's going to see those misses, and he's caring more about you. You know, he wants me to help the team win. I want him to help the team win. So it's really good to train with him.
To Jack's point, 43 walks, 56 Ks, and 332 at-bats. I do want to get to some fan questions too. I'll ask one here. Jack will pick it up, and then we'll get to some fan questions. But those 43 walks to 56 strikeouts, that was a big thing about you, man. It was the exceptional plate discipline. Why were you confident that that was going to carry over from Double-A to the major leagues?
It's tough to say, but I just knew even in spring training, I could kind of see like that's something I've always been good at. And I knew that as I get adjusted to the level, I take pride on, putting the bat on the ball, not swinging at balls. So I think, the game's similar. Obviously guys have better stuff, but the more you see it, the more you can kind of get used to it, kind of learn where that pitch has to start for it to be a strike. And then it's just the training as well. You're going to train some really tough environments and tough stuff, and learn what pitches you can hit and what pitches you can't.
My last one before we get to fan questions. Are you taking shots of maple syrup between rounds? Are you practicing your baritone for O Canada? What does this WBC prep look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Obviously, Owen's playing as well. Super excited. I've never played for Team Canada. A lot of guys get the opportunity for the younger junior national teams, but I never did. So I'm really excited. Obviously, I was pumped when the Marlins kind of were encouraging to do it. Obviously, my main goal is to play for Miami and play in the big leagues this year, but they were super encouraging, thought it would be really good for my career. So that was really good to hear. And I'm really excited.
Is there anyone in particular that you're excited to chat with?
I mean, it's too bad that Freddie won't be on the team because obviously that would have been really good. Obviously, Clayton would have been, I think, excited for me if I got the opportunity to be around him. It'll be nice to see Quantrill again. That'll be fun. Hopefully, I get to catch him. But yeah, there's a ton of guys. I mean, the team's pretty stacked. So Russell Martin's one of the coaches on the
That's awesome.
on the staff. So it'll be cool to chat with him. Kind of just obviously catching. I mean, he's got a ton of experience, tons of playoff experience as well. So that'll be really cool.
Real quick follow-up. Are you nervous for this, or is it just sheer excitement and it's going to be fun and you get to represent your country?
I think it's more excitement. I mean, obviously, we'll see. Maybe we'll get nervous once the games start. But, I mean, from what I've heard, the atmosphere in Puerto Rico is going to be awesome. I can imagine it's going to be pretty crazy. But I'm pretty excited. I mean, there's a ton of guys. Like, it's going to be cool to meet all these guys, Canadian baseball is like a small network. Everyone knows everyone, like their names, but I haven't met a lot of these guys, so I'm really excited to play with them. And everyone says it's playing for your country feels different, so I'm excited to kind of see how that goes.
You ready for fan questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got two here. I vetted them. I think these two are the best ones. Let's first start with Mike in Miami.
Hey, Mike from Miami here. Liam, what is the most difficult pitch to hit in baseball, and who was the toughest pitcher that you faced last year? Thank you.
Hixie?
What you got?
Can you not hear that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Brutal fail.
Oh,
Mike
man.
from Miami asked you what the toughest pitch to hit is in baseball and who was the toughest pitcher that you faced this year.
Toughest pitch to hit. Toughest pitch is probably like a really good splitter or like a really good changeup. I mean, I want to give away like a lot of secrets, but I don't want any pitchers just to listen to this and throw me all changeups next year. But obviously, if your changeup's looking exactly like your fastball out of your hand, like that's going to be tough for anyone. So that's obviously really tough, especially with how hard guys are throwing. You got to be geared up, ready for that fastball. Toughest pitcher to face. I mean, I'm pumped that Ferrer's out of our division. That was I know I probably wasn't getting matched up with him that often. But that was a tough sinker. And then also this year, I mean, when Bieber came back, that first outing against us, his stuff was just different that day. I mean, it was tough to pick up differentiate those pitches out of his hand. I mean, I don't swing at pitches in the dirt that often, but like he got me on I think a slider down and in that was just, I thought it was a fastball until I swung and missed, walking back to the dugout.
I hope you can listen to this next one. Rick from Miami, and Liam, if you can't, just give me a shake of the head because we're on visual here, but I'll play the audio. I'm going to see if I just be quiet here. You can listen to this.
Yeah, this is Rick from Miami. I got a quick question for you. What are the benefits of not having to call balls and strikes for you personally when you're doing a game? All right, let me know. Thanks. Best of luck. Go Marlins. Flip the M.
Jack, go ahead.
That was really good. Rick from Miami, number one, finished his question with best of luck, go Marlins, let's flip the M. But he asked about the benefits of not having to call your own pitches over the course of a game. Obviously, you guys changed that for the final week and a half, 2 weeks of the regular season. Where do you feel like you benefited from that?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that goes this year. I know obviously they're planning on doing that. I mean, I've always loved calling a game. I think that's something that's really cool to do. But it does take a lot off your plate. A new pitcher coming into a game, obviously you're still having those conversations with the staff because if he shakes, you got to know what he wants. But it does take some stuff off of your plate as far as, man on third, ball in the dirt, you want a nasty pitch. You're not worried about, all your focus is on receiving and blocking or throwing. You don't have to be processing as much. Because when you're calling a game, you got to think 2 pitches ahead. So, I'm calling this pitch, and then if that misses, we're going to set up to this. So, it'll be interesting how that goes. I mean, obviously, I know they had a ton of success in AAA. They won the championship. So, obviously, I think they're really excited with how it's been going in the minor leagues. And, I mean, I think it went well with us in the big leagues as well. I mean, those last few weeks, we were playing really good baseball. So, it's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting.
All right, last one for you, Hixie. Why should Marlins fans or how should Marlins fans feel about going into 2026?
I think they should be excited. I mean, obviously, I think in the room last year, our expectation was to win. And I think outside of the room, outside of the clubhouse, we exceeded a lot of people's expectations for what this team was going to be. And I mean, I think it's still going to be a really hungry team. Like a lot of guys were making their firsts in the big leagues last year, and I think now that they've kind of got a little taste of that, a little more confidence going into next year with kind of a full season under their belt, knowing what to expect, seeing pitchers for the second, third, how many times. I think the team's in a really good spot. Obviously, a lot of really, really good people in the organization as well. So it's a good group to pull for. So I think the future's bright with Miami.
And it's going to look like a completely different division as well. There have been a ton of movement between the Mets and the Phillies and the Nationals as well. So should be an exciting year. Hixie, thank you so much for the time, man. We always appreciate it. We can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, dude.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
You'll have your eggs and spinach, brother.
Get some spinach and some ground beef and some rice. We're going to break here on the other side. Love it or leave it. I got a story that you just cannot miss. You will not believe who I sat next to on the plane. That's coming up next. Opening day is...
Well, nothing gets a baseball fan going quite like opening day, and the 2026 Marlins season is sure to start off with a bang. Join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th at 7:10 p.m. for opening day baseball under the lights. Coming off a 79-win campaign in 2025, the Fish open the year playing host to the Colorado Rockies, and the night will conclude with an epic post-game fireworks show. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Marlins fans, we are all about ringing in the new year, and you can do that with the Fish on February 7th at our place, Lone Depot Park. It's the place to be for Fan Fest presented by ADT. It is, again, February 7th from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. You can meet your favorite Marlins. You can listen to your favorite radio program, Jack and I, of course, and you can walk your favorite ballpark and end the night with an epic fireworks show. Start the season off right. Claim your free ticket today at marlins.com/fanfest. All right, Liam Hicks, thank you very much, sir, as we welcome you back here, Marlins Hot Stove Show. And this is going to be the last one of the month of January. Then we will be at FanFest. Okay, so Jack, Liam Hicks, it seems like he's in a good headspace, man. Congratulations to him and his fiance. And now he comes into 2026 with a little bit more muscle. He's got some experience underneath his belt as well. So it'll be interesting. And I think one takeaway I took from that interview, too, was his time at first base might not come to an end here. I honestly thought with the movement of Morel and Griffin Conine that would maybe be put to bed, but Liam Hicks possibly will get some time at first base, and that's, I think, in part of his bat and his ability to hit.
You've clearly forgotten about our favorite word of the 2025 season, optionality. Man. You always have to have optionality, and it's cool that he keeps that club in the bag to tie it back to golf, because Liam lives in Jupiter now, and that's the golf capital of the world, right? So having that is a really nice aspect, and it just makes him a more well-rounded baseball player. You know, this guy, we talked about the word safety right before that Liam conversation. Safety with the bat, safety behind the dish, safety at first base. The more holes that you can plug, the better. And it seems like Liam is in the plugging holes business, which is really cool.
Also so funny when he gets a fan question and they ask him what pitch is the most difficult, how hesitant he is to share anything beyond just, oh, it's this pitch. I'm not going to tell you why.
No, this is classified info.
I'm not going to tell you why, but this pitch is pretty hard to. He should have done reverse psychology. Should have been like fastball, like maybe in a little bit on the hands. I don't love if I can just drop my swing and hit it I
really hate hanging curveballs. Oh. Just cement mixer sliders are my least favorite pitch.
Those are the worst. Okay, so again, thank you very much to Liam Hicks. Love it or leave it time. I'm going to get the music going here, because this one I've been very excited to share, and I'm building up, which hopefully isn't going to lead to a letdown. But I got a couple here, Jack. I can't even save the best for last. I got to lead off with this. All right, so I want everyone to sit back wherever you are right now. If you're in your car, if you're on your couch, if you are somewhere in a similar space that you would be in if you were on a plane, okay? I think people should have to take a class for airplane etiquette is the right word.
So real quick to interject, I don't fly particular airlines now because of the clientele of particular airlines. If you have no idea how to fly, I am out on flying your airline. So I am 100% with you.
Okay, I'm not going to name airlines. I'm not going to name people. I was fortunate to go to Spain, and Spain is about an 8.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
So on this particular flight, and again, I want everyone to imagine, everyone sitting down right now, imagine an armrest on one side and an armrest on another. Okay? You're doing that, Jack? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyone that's been on a plane, you know that you have to be very spatially aware. Okay? Now, on this particular one, we're not going to Jacksonville. We're not going to New York. We're going Madrid to Miami. This is an 8-hour flight. Okay? utmost importance to be very respectful. So it's about 4 a.m. Miami time as I sit back, put on my seatbelt, and put my head back. Okay? Cabin lights are dimmed. Everyone on this flight is on the same page here, folks. It's time to sleep. Okay? So the guy next to me, he brings out like night vision goggles from maybe 2040. Okay? These look advanced. These look like this guy can like go to a cave that is as dark as ever and be able to pick the rocks out of the cave and be able to tell me what kind of rock it is. So he puts on these big goggles and I'm sitting here. I'm like, all right, is this for sleeping? Does this, some people wear the things for the eyes. I put a blanket over my head on flights. You're my flight partner. I put a blanket over my head to do the darkness.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, this is a little bit weird. But whatever. I actually didn't even think anything of it. I'm just like, wow, those are big goggles. So I put on my white noise. I close my eyes. I peer out probably 2 minutes into me, starting to settle down. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to really doze off. In the corner of my eye, I see someone's hand go up with his index finger. He starts to pull it down, right? As if he's hitting a button. I'm like, what is this guy doing? So then I'm like, all right, maybe he was, I don't know. I don't even know. So I close my eyes. I then feel an arm go past my elbow, and I see him start to grab something in the air and start to pull this way and then close his fingers. I'm like, this guy's playing virtual video games. Are you kidding me? Oh, Jack, not only is he grabbing the air and just pulling things and touching things, he is also, I don't know, every time the guy completed a level in his little video game, he then decides to sit back, spread his legs, and hit mine. He does it twice. I look over to my wife and I say, we have issues. She's like, no, me, I want to relax. It's okay. Let him enjoy. I go, okay, I'll let him enjoy. Close my eyes. Yes, Captain! I am going to go to the next level. Yes! Jack, he starts to go into character. He starts to talk on this flight with his virtual headset on, and he's with these hand movements and gestures and hits my leg again.
And it's 4 a.m. local when you guys board.
I don't care if it's 4 a.m. I don't care if it's 5 p.m.
For sure.
He hits me again. I go, all right, listen, buddy. You can't do this. You can't do this. I don't know what's going on here. You can't do this. And the worst part is, he's the nicest guy in the world. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. 2 minutes later, he does it again. I have smoke coming out of my ears. My wife looks at me and says, I'll switch seats with you. I go, all right, switch seats with me. Because she thinks, I don't know.
Yeah, right. I can handle it. Yeah.
Jack, she sits, because I'm telling her that she doesn't believe me. I'm like, I think this guy's playing video games. He's pulling the trigger in the air. Because that's what it is, guys. He's taking his index finger and he's pressing down. To make a long story short, we switch seats not even 10 seconds in. She closes her eyes. She opens them up for a second. The guy starts to do the same thing, and she is dying laughing. And the guy doesn't hear because he's got Turtle Beaches on too with his headset and his night vision goggles. The guy's playing a video game. My wife can't stop laughing. It was out of this world with the experience. Never in my life I have flown 100 million times. A guy playing virtual video games, doing the hand gestures, spreading his legs, hitting me with his elbow, and talking to himself. Love it or leave it, virtual video games on a plane.
Yeah, leaving it. Leaving it a billion times over. The progression of the worst seatmate on an airplane you could possibly have is astounding over the last decade and a half. Because the original worst seatmate was the crying baby, right? The crying baby was always terrible. And there's a great Tim Robinson sketch, and I Think You Should Leave, about a guy that, wanted to go to London and make the soldiers laugh at Buckingham Palace, and he couldn't do it because there was a crying baby and he was too tired. Like, the crying baby was the original, oh, this flight's going to be terrible part. And then it turned into the constant lavatory goer and the plane flapper and the stand-up when the plane lands and all of that.
Sure.
That is the 2026 version of the worst possible seatmate.
Pales in comparison.
I don't envy you whatsoever. That's 8.5 hours that you guys had to do.
Jack, he played the game for 6 of them.
That's crazy.
The guy, I was going to look over. I'm like, dude, did you beat the game? Because if you didn't, you stink. Like, you better go return these goggles because you've been at this thing for 6 hours.
That's so terrible. And if I were in your shoes, I would probably signal the flight attendant.
So I looked over. I'm like, I'm going to complain to this airline.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you going to say? The guy's playing video games next to you? What, are you going to get a refund?
He's infiltrating my airspace. He's in my airspace right now.
And the worst part,
flagrant one.
If you're going to play video games like that, you have to be so spatially aware. You have to be perfect.
Of course.
Perfect. And he wasn't. And he also was nice, which was the worst part. If he was a jerk, I don't know if I'd be on. I don't know if I'd be on this mic right now.
But it's also way easier to just nip that in the bud if he's a jerk. Like, listen, pal.
It was, yeah. So love it or leave it. Leaving it, I was just appalled. I could not believe what I was. Could not believe. I thought someone. I was looking at hitting cameras, man. I thought I was on Punk'd.
That's
really
next level.
I was waiting for Ashton Kutcher.
Oy.
All right,
next level horrid.
Love it or leave it. We'll get serious here for a second. Kyle Stowers, top 100.
Yeah,
he is 68th. That's the number he got. Love it or leave it. Kyle Stowers at 68.
Love his presence on the top 100. I'm leaving 68. I think the baseball world nationally is going to find out that this guy is a heck of a lot better than the 68th best player in Major League Baseball. So I love his presence on the list. Well-deserved. I thought there were a couple other guys that deserve to be on the top 100 list. But I'm leaving that he is outside the top 60 players in Major League Baseball. I think by the end of this year, we're going to be talking about this guy as a top 40, top 50 player in the league.
I totally agree with you. I love that he's starting to get some airtime. He's starting to get some love around the league. It's funny, when I looked at his games, I think he played 115, something along those lines. I'm like, man, if he got to like 140, 150, that easily would have been, I thought, 30 home runs, and maybe we're looking at a different ranking. But it's just, honestly, man, it's just, I take so much pride in knowing one of our guys are getting that recognition. So it's awesome. Congratulations to Kyle Stowers.
Yes, of course. And I do think when we do this going into 27, there are going to be a couple other fish that are on that top 100 list.
I tend to agree with you. One that could be on it. Yuri Perez, love it or leave it, currently listed at 220. Fish on First, really good article on him. They had a good conversation. He's up to 240. Jack, He put on 20 pounds of muscle. Love it or leave it. And why?
Love that. Mass times acceleration equals force. Is that right? I think that's physics.
Yeah.
The heavier you are, and the more concentrated force you have working down the mountain, the harder you are going to throw and the sharper your secondary stuff is going to be. And we talked about this, I think, leading into the Scooble start. We spent like 10 minutes on it on Marlins on Deck. And I said to you, look at his legs from his Major League debut to his first All-Star season to his second Cy Young season in 2025. Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Garrett Crochet, three of the best arms in Major League Baseball. These guys have put on weight. Skubal's up about 50 pounds from his college days, I think. These are guys that are adding mass, realizing that mass working down the mound in an efficient way will make you a better pitcher. And Yuri Perez, he was already amazing. If he's got even more mass working down the mound, we haven't even seen maybe the 50th percentile of Yuri Perez.
And you talk about Tarek Skubal. Look at Sandy. Look at when Sandy started, how much weight he's put on. Sandy's a unit. He's a specimen. So it's good to see Yuri Perez up 20 pounds again. He's 22, 23? I mean, it's unbelievable how young he is. I'm so excited to see what he has in store for us. I got one more, but do you have any that you want to?
Yeah, I had one actually for today.
What?
You already know my answer. Love it or leave it. 60 degrees in Miami. I know this is not typical Miami weather. This is seasonably cold for Miami.
Yeah.
But I said to you when I got in the car today, I love this temperature. It felt amazing outside in South Florida today.
Too cold for me. I'm going to leave it, especially being down here in Miami. I like to go out and feel that sun and maybe honestly break a little sweat on a walk. I like to go for a walk in the morning, right on the water. This is cold. This is cold. I mean, it really is cold for South Florida. Once in a while, it's fine, but I just there's something about 75 and 80 that I just love, man. So I'm gonna leave the 60 degrees, Jack McMullen.
I understand. I've got another. Love it or leave it. New location for our FanFest live show. It sounds like we're going to be in a different spot. You guys are typically in the Brew Hall area, but now we're going to be somewhere else in the Promenade, and it's a really exciting spot. So details I don't think are dry yet as it pertains to ink, but I will tell you it's a very exciting area on the Promenade for FanFest.
Not official yet, but we are going to be on that third level. Like Jack had said, we'll be set up, and I encourage anyone and everyone to come up, say hello. We got some great guests. I'm so excited for you to experience your first FanFest, man. It's a big deal for you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, dude. I'm excited. And no, it's going to be great. 4 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, February 7th. And it's going to be a party. Come on out, say hey to your fish people. And if you guys are bored enough, you can come say hey to us.
Last one, and I hope I'm not bothering people with the whole vacation stuff because I can't stand when people go to a country one time and they start, oh my God, it's this, it's that. It's this. This really
abroad didn't change your life. What do you mean?
Yeah. I had to go find myself.
Yeah.
The Spain school system. Okay, so I do have my wife has family out there. Okay, so I'm asking my now cousin, what's the day like for you? Okay, how about this day? How about the school system in Spain? How about getting up?
Is this what that is?
I'm sorry?
Isn't there a siesta? Isn't that right?
There is. Yeah, look at you. Cultured. Have you been to Spain? Have you traveled abroad?
I have not been to Spain, but I read all about siesta, and I was like, I think I like this. But
I'm in on that,
and I'll give you my answer.
So, the girl wakes up at, 9:30. Mm-hmm. She walks to school. She comes home at 11:30, 12. She's got her siesta, which is a nap time. So she naps from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, then goes back at 3:15 for a whopping 45 minutes, and is home by 4:15. She's done at 4. She's home at 4:15. How about that?
It's amazing.
Are you kidding me? I was locked in that thing for, 8:20 to 2:45 with 15 classes. Unbelievable. No wonder why everyone's happy there.
I've got a lot of sweeping takes as it pertains to time-oriented things versus task-oriented things. And it feels like the Spanish school system is a task-oriented industry. Like, you get in, do your stuff, go home, nap, eat, come back, do more stuff, see ya. I love that. If you can get your stuff done, get your stuff done. We'll smell you later.
Yeah, I love it too. All right, folks, what else we got here? Our next show, Jack McMullen, it's not Tuesday. I fear it's not Tuesday. What do we got on deck?
FanFest, baby. That's our next show, and that's the last bit of the hot stove season. 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern at FanFest, presented by ADT on Saturday, February 7th. Going to have, to steal a line from Stephen, a deep and distinguished guest list. We've got guests galore. We've got a couple of fun announcements that we will be reacting to over the course of FanFest. So really excited for what's to come on that. And then it's baseball season, baby.
Oh my goodness. And you're leading a panel. Look at you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I won't spoil the guests.
Panel season.
Yeah, panel season, baby.
Yeah, the FanFest is going to be awesome. Again, Jack had said it, next weekend on Saturday. We also have Media Day on Friday too. So it's now here. It's officially here post Super Bowl. Yeah. But Jack McMullen, we're right around the corner here. It has been so much fun just shooting it with you on the Hot Stove Show. We've had some great guests and spring training content. Just be prepared. We're very excited to announce some really cool things that we're going to do in spring. It's going to look a little bit different, but again, our goal for you guys, we want to entertain you, but we also want to bring you as far back behind the curtain as possible so you feel like you're with us. And I think with the spring training content, you will feel that way. You will feel connected, and there's going to be some great synergy as we head into what is going to be a really fun and exciting 2026 that we are all leading up. What is it? The 27th of January? What, 3 months, man? It's absolutely bonkers that we are. I wrote this down. 57 days. Let's see. Let me find my paper here. I think it's 59 days until opening day.
Wow.
59.
Wow. That's really cool, man. No, it's been a blast of an off season so far with the hot stove stuff. Off season number 1 for us together. Check with hot stove season sort of kind of in the books, but one last rodeo on the hot stove side. And then, yeah, I cannot wait for a lot of the creative, exciting stuff that we're doing during spring.
Folks, thank you for listening. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, at Marlins Radio on Twitter, Jack McMullen on Twitter. Jack, what's your Twitter again?
Jack_McMullen 11. That's what
Good
it is,
stuff.
baby. And you are S_Strom_.
Jack remembers, I don't. That is usually how it goes here at Marlins Radio. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you at FanFest. Thanks for listening.